Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the unboxing and have a first look at this BlackBerry Key 1. And as you can see, it says limited edition in black, and now BlackBerry is powered by Android, and here it gives us some basic specs that it's a 4G dual SIM unit that is being sold in India, and it's having a 4.5-inch screen. You might notice that it's small, but again, this has a physical keyboard. We'll open it, and it is powered by a Snapdragon 625 chipset, and this is a review unit, hence the pricing is removed over here, but I'll have details of the pricing in the description area. And it comes with 4 GB RAM and 64 GB of internal storage. So let's open this up and let's have a closer look at this BlackBerry Key 1. So we have the device itself, and we have this interesting shield over here. So we'll come back to the handset a bit later. Looks like some paperwork and SIM ejector tool that we are getting. And this lets us get started. In fact, we're having a bunch of booklets. It also has, because the keyboard is an important part of BlackBerry devices. So as you can see, and this is supposed to be, you can also scroll using the keyboard and other stuff. I'll talk about all those things later. So again, as you can see, it's a dual SIM, and the second SIM you can, this first SIM or the second, this one actually you can use as a SD card also you can use instead of the second SIM. So that's how you use this one. So let me keep these things to the side for now. And let's look. So it's having a USB Type C, so USB Type A to Type C cable that we are having. Good to see that we are also getting a headset with this one. Let's open this up and have a look. And so we also get some extra ear tips, so that's nice. And again, we have that BlackBerry logo over here. So this one is also having a BlackBerry logo, as you can see, and these are in-ear type. I'll have to test it and see how good they are. And we also have a single button over here and a microphone. So I will be testing this, and I'll let you guys know later. And let's see the charger. It's supposed to have Qualcomm Quick Charging 3, and yes, it has 5 volt and 9 volts. So it's a fast charger that we are getting. So let me keep these things back and let's have a closer look at the device itself. So this is the device itself, and let's remove this protective plastic cover that we have, and let me peel this off. As you can see, that comes out, and we also have one at the back, shows you that you can insert your SIM and other stuff. So this is what it is, and let me actually give you a physical overview. In terms of build quality, initial impressions, I'm just telling you my initial feel. This one actually feels built nicely. This reminds me of the traditional old BlackBerry. They were built really well. This one also gives that initial feeling, but let's see. On the top, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, secondary noise cancellation microphone that we are getting, and this is your SIM tray. Let's open that up. Let me actually show you. And on the box it says it supports VoLTE, so it will work with the Reliance. So as you can see, the hybrid solution you have, you can put 2 nano SIMs or 1 nano SIM and a micro SD card. So that's what you have, and this is not plastic. This is made up of metal. And we have the volume rockers. This is not the power button. This is a special BlackBerry button which you can map to whatever you like. I'll show you that later. And on the bottom we have 2 vents, but I think so only this one is the speaker USB Type C, and this is the power button. So that's what we have. Moving to the back, we have a camera. As you can see, it's opening is pretty big, and I've heard that this camera is a 12 megapixel, but it's very similar to the one that we find with Google Pixels. It'll be interesting to see. And this is the dual tone flash that we have. The battery is sealed inside in this unit, and the front facing camera is 8 megapixel. So let's try to power it on, and the power button is here. This is not the power button. So let's power it on. Gave me haptic feedback, and it says BlackBerry powered by Android. And I'll just set this up. In the meantime, let me give you a specs overview. This BlackBerry Key 1 is powered by the Snapdragon 625 chipset, which is an octa-core processor. It has a 4.5-inch IPS display. It's in the 3:2 ratio. It has Gorilla Glass 4 protection. It has 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage. It's a dual SIM device. Moving to the camera, it has a 12 megapixel rear facing camera, 8 megapixel front facing camera. It also has a fingerprint scanner, which is the spacebar button on the keyboard. And it has a 3505 milliamp hour battery, which supports quick charging 3, and it comes out of the box with Android 7.1. So let me give you initial impressions of this device, and now I have used this device for almost 4 days, and as you can see, I've installed a bunch of apps and I have set it up with 2 SIM cards, Airtel and Jio, so it works perfectly fine with Jio. As you can see, we have that VoLTE, and as you can see, it looks like a typical Android device right now, and yes, it runs over Android, as you can see, very typical. But we have this physical keyboard, and the launcher on this is actually really interesting. As you can see, you see some of these icons are having 3 dots. That means if you just swipe above it like this, you can invoke its widget, and this can be sort of helpful. For example, I have this BlackBerry Hub, and if I just do that, you can access information. And also another thing that I like is that as it has this physical keyboard, you can map any key for a quick action. For example, if I hold this T for some time, I have mapped it to Twitter, and as you can see, my Twitter just launches. That was the long press, and there is also one more action. For a short press also, you can assign anything. For short press, I've assigned it to Torch, for example. As you can see, I can switch on the Torch very quickly like this. And for W, I have set it to WhatsApp. For example, if I just press W, it launches my WhatsApp. So as you can see, you can map in quite a few keys, and I really like this. And it took me some time getting used to it, and this H is for the BlackBerry Hub, which is very interesting. You can have everything in the hub, so you have one centralized space that you have. And again, it's a traditional Android smartphone, so you can download whatever you want from the Play Store and stuff. That works. This is the multitasking key, and it's a slightly different layout. It is still a multitasking stuff that you have, as you can see, but the layout is slightly different, as you can see. So yeah, this is the multitasking, and again, you would have noticed one thing is that, let me actually show you. If you go to about the device, the good thing is that it's running on Android 7.1.1, and so that's a Nougat. And the good thing is that this one is having the latest security updates, as you can see, 5th of July. So in terms of security updates, BlackBerry is going to be very proactive. So you're going to get that monthly security updates. And you must have noticed that it said that this is a limited edition in black. So what is this limited edition? The speciality of this is that obviously this is completely in black color. The international variant, this one had a silver trim. And moving to the specs also, this special edition has 4 GB of RAM. The regular one has 3 GB of RAM, and this one is having 64 GB of internal storage. The regular variant had 32 GB of internal storage. And as you can see, I've been using it for the last 4 days, so I've installed quite a few apps and stuff. But out of that 64 GB, when I unboxed it, you get about 50 GB of space available to you. So that is regarding the storage that you are getting. And again, it's just 4 days since I've been using this one, and I'm really impressed with the battery life that I'm getting, easily about 1.5 days. So in terms of that, it is actually really good. And many of you might be asking about the keyboard. So let me actually show you the keyboard. As you can see, you get a lot of space here with virtual keyboards. They pop up here. That's not the case. So you get this entire space to write your stuff, and it will take you a couple of days to get used to this. This is a test, as you can see. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to this keyboard, but we also get autocorrect and stuff here. For example, as you can see, if I just swipe like this, this is a test for if I want to, I just can do that. You can even swipe like this for going back and correcting. So it's a very intuitive keyboard. And also another thing that I noticed with this keyboard is, for example, let me open the browser. Let's open one more tab, and let's go to this TechMeme. This also acts like a virtual, what do you say, trackpad. As you can see, I can just swipe on the keyboard like this and scroll. So it's great for reading stuff. You obviously you can use the touch screen, but you don't have to do that. You can just use this. And yeah, it's just 4 days, but I am actually appreciating this physical keyboard. And you can do a lot of things really fast. For example, I like the fact that you have this quick keys. You can map it to whatever you want, so that way you can do a lot of things. For example, if I recall, if I just press B, it goes to my battery life and stuff like this. So it's very quick way to launch apps. Yes, it takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but I'm really actually appreciating. You can even assign, what do you say, for example, press a key to dial a specific number or something like that. So those options are there. Let me show you actually. Let's see if I haven't mapped any key. For example, let's see if I didn't map the C key. See, I mapped to calculator already, as you can see. Let's see, X I haven't mapped. So first time if you do that, it'll ask you to assign a shortcut. And these are the basic it says, but you can go to all shortcuts and map it to whatever application you want. So that's a very nice thing in my opinion. And in regarding general performance, generally these BlackBerry phones are business oriented phones, and that's the case with this one. And initial impressions, the battery life has been really good on this one. Let me actually show you the fingerprint scanner also. And you might have noticed I have left this area empty. The reason for that is, as I have mentioned earlier, this is not the power button. This is the power button, and it's in an awkward position. But this device supports double tap to sleep and double tap to wake. So I'll just double tap here and it switches off. And the fingerprint scanner is here in this what do you say, space bar. And let me show you, it's also very responsive. You just tap on it and it works. So actually I'm not using that power on off key. As you can see, you just press here and it unlocks. So yeah, this is a pretty what do you say, strange position, but I figured it out not to use that power key a lot. And overall, the build quality is nice. I didn't play a lot with the camera. I took some snaps. Let me actually show you the camera interface first, and then I'll show you the snaps. This is the typical camera interface that you're getting, and you have that standard stuff, tap to focus, as you can see. And once you press, it takes the shot off. As you can see, and I've taken some sample shots around my office and near my house. So let me actually show you the camera samples. Again, BlackBerry was never known for camera, but looks like this one is actually having a good camera. Also, as I mentioned earlier, this is that convenience key, and you can also map this to anything. I have mapped it for what do you say, silent and stuff. For example, right now the phone is on silent. If I press that, it will move to the ringtone. If I just press it once, it goes to vibrate and back to silent. So you can map this one to anything you like. So very customizable, and I would say this is sort of a very different kind of a device. This is for people, mostly business oriented people, who would appreciate having a physical keyboard. Again, I'm still testing this device, so in the next couple of weeks I'll be posting its full review. But if you have any other specific questions around this device, do post your questions in the YouTube comment section below. I'll try to include them in my review. So that's it for now for this video, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.